Okay, back again with Dr. Stiffler's SFM circuit, and Stefan Hartmann had an interesting point, and that was, where is the L3? And I did say that actually I didn't know even if the LED would come on or not, so the L3 was missing. The L3 is now in the circuit, and the brightness is very, very similar to how it was before at 3.42 megahertz, but now it's actually dropped, if this will be in focus, to 2.66 megahertz. Another side to adding the L3 is, do you remember how, if you've seen the previous video, 9 megahertz simply sent the thing off, it just switched off the LED, went past any kind of resonance point. There is 9 megahertz. So that I thought that was also very interesting. If I drop down from there now, it drops off quite suddenly. I mean, there we are now at 5 megahertz, and it should actually pick back up again when it comes back around, and let's see, that's about the brightest, and that's at 2.88 megahertz. So just drop it down again. 2.66, 2.76 are the best now, rather than the 3.42, and I'll just put it to the 3.42, and there we are, and you'll notice that it dropped down from where it was at 2.66. So very interesting to actually add the L3 there, and that's just an unfettered L3. It's not any turns taken off or added, but it has changed the tuning, and as I say, if I zoom that to the 9 megahertz, produces a good light up there now instead of being switched off. There was another thing that was raised, and that was how much voltage this thing is putting out, this DS203, and in fact 1.46, 1.47 volts, and on the milliamps, well, unfortunately on this one and pretty much every other meter I own, I have to go onto the amperage scale so we can just tell to the sort of 5 milliamp kind of marker. So yeah, it'll flip between 0 and 1, so at the moment about say 6 or 7 milliamps. The other meter says somewhere around 5 milliamps because it keeps flicking more. But about 1.44, 1.45 volts is all, and about 6 or 7 milliamps. So really, getting a lot of light out of that anyway would be very difficult to do at that voltage and that current. Right, here we have it connected again, and I've got the L3 connected now. The positive kind of thing, the pulse of the output goes to that, and then the grounding goes to the middle again of the two coils. And here's the output, and this is now shifted to 8 megahertz there as about its strongest. But of course another thing I need to do is try with the foil behind and see if that actually makes a difference. So if I put that behind, do we get any extra? I need a lumen meter. That, I don't know if it's doing anything. It shouldn't, because again we're grounded. I'll turn the light off and let's see if there's any change. Not really, I don't think. No, looking at it with no light on, I don't think there's a change there with the foil. So I'm still doing a lot wrong here, obviously. But there's that. So another one with the L3 connected is what happens when I put a ferrite rod through there. And in fact it does make quite a significant difference. That is now dropping down to go out by the time that that gets about halfway in. If I push further through, it should actually come back a little. Oh, it doesn't now, but I'll bet you it will change if I change this. If I change the frequency on here, whoops, thought I'd do that. If I change the frequency on here, it might come back. Yeah, there we go. So it's strongest now, which is a bit less than on the 8 megahertz without that ferrite rod in there. That's now 1.38 megahertz. So it changes the tuning. Now if I tip it out a little, down goes the output, but I bet it comes back. Yes, it does. And so around about there is the strongest, and that's it, 3.13. And the other point is, if I've noticed, if you move it just a little, it will retune slightly higher up. Or slightly lower down, whichever way around. There we go. So now the strongest is at 5.14 megahertz. Finally remove it like that, and you can see how dim that is now, but it'll come back for the 8 megahertz. There we are. And finally for this video, we're back to 8 megahertz. The lights on okay. Now the thing is, we've already got the positive connected to the outputs of the bridge rectifier. So if I take this off, the negative, and I put that to, well, the negative of the bridge rectifier, does this coil do anything? Will be answered. So it should come on, shouldn't it? And the answer is no, it doesn't. So something's going on with that coil, and it means that it is doing something in the circuit. If I move this right down, see we're going into 4s now of megahertz, we've still got nothing. 3s, what are we on there? 2s, we've still got nothing. We can go right down, I'm going to spin it right down, we're starting to get light again at 800 kilohertz. So we're right out of the megahertz range. And it's not that much of brightness anyway. So very interestingly, it knocks it all out and the coil appears to be doing something. So I thought that was very interesting indeed. If I take this back off again now and I plug it straight back onto there, there we are with more light than there was at that particular frequency, and I'll zoom the thing up. Well, there we are, a good spike there, and it will do because that was at the 8 megahertz. So yeah, the coil seems to do something. Okay, thanks for watching.